What is going on, beautiful people? The Wolves win 130-117 on the road in game one of the first round of the NBA playoffs. They beat the Grizzlies. Let's talk about it.
Steps up in the pocket. He'll fire to the right side. Caught by Diggs. Stay up. Oh my God. 30. No way. Touchdown.
Into deep left center for Mitchell. And we'll see you tomorrow night.
This is not Detroit, man. This is the Super Bowl. Brutal. David Guthrie is right there. Didn't have the guts to call it. Also, and Malloy.
The Twins are going to win the World Series.
Now fires into the end zone. Caught. Edwards on the attack. And Ants can fly. Touchdown. Ants off the feed. And Anthony Edwards showing that this can kill. No.
How did he get that one to go?
No.
Oh my goodness.
Carl Anthony Towns says, I want a piece of this Doug Best.
And that is the intro. The Wolves win 130-117. Jackson Borst is here. How do you feel?
Oh my! I feel outstanding. That was one of the best Timberwolves games I have ever watched. I have never had more fun watching the Timberwolves than what I did today. Granted, I had money on the game, so that made it extra exciting. But seriously, that was unbelievable. Everyone outside of D'Lo played amazing. Seriously. I am so proud of the effort, top to bottom. It was just a fantastic, fantastic game. So fun to watch. Ups, downs, but mostly ups. But seriously, I'm kind of at a loss for words. That was such an amazing game.
Yeah, it really was amazing. And we're going to go through individual players. But just the silence in the FedEx Forum. I mean, that place can get loud in the playoffs from what I hear.
It was.
It was loud at
felt
times.
Like it. Yeah.
But, I mean, for the most part, the Wolves kept him silent every time. The Grizzlies made a big shot or Ja had a big dunk, answer. And almost every time, you know who it was? Anthony freaking Edwards. That guy is a menace. He had 36 points in his first ever playoff game, made 4 threes, had 6 assists, 2 steals, a block. This guy is going to be special. What did you see from him? Obviously, it was unbelievable, but give me your thoughts.
Yeah, I thought he was outstanding. The shots that he was hitting, too, were so good. I mean, the mid-range was on point. The three was falling. He was rebounding the basketball. He was distributing. He was doing everything. We'll talk about everyone else later, but I felt like he was their best guy. And he really rode the momentum of the play-in game into this one. And seriously, he's just so fun to watch, and it was a pleasure to watch.
Yeah, I mean, Ja Morant is a good player, but man, does he get a lot of calls. I mean, basically all he does is run speed, jumps as high as he can, and then just flails his arms, and they blow the whistle.
You want to know what I said? It reminded me of the peak Harden years, how he would just get the dumbest calls and get all of his points from the free throw line.
Yeah, I mean, and he plays in a way that I don't want to say this, but he's going to get hurt bad at some point. I mean, it's egregious the way he jumps in the air. He's already gotten hurt a couple of times this year. Let's talk.
But honestly, they defended him well. I mean, force him to shoot. He's not a great 3-point shooter. He's not even a great mid-range shooter. All he does is drive the basket. And yeah, I'm going to go there. I think he's a little overrated.
I mean, the way when Anthony Edwards is guarding him, he can't do anything. I mean, and Ant didn't guard him really until the fourth quarter on a consistent basis. It was Pat Bev, and then it was McDaniels for a while, and those two sort of flip-flop back and forth. And then Anthony Edwards took over in the fourth quarter, and Ja couldn't do anything. Anthony Edwards is one of the best on-ball, one-on-one defenders in the entire NBA. People that don't watch the Wolves would be like, no, are you kidding me? Now, he needs a ton of improvement off ball. He gets lost, doesn't pay a lot of attention, checks out sometimes. But on ball, when he's going up against a matchup that he's locked in for, my God, he can stay in front of anybody. Karl Anthony Towns. You asked me before the game, you think he's going to go off?
Yep.
He sort of did. I mean, 29 and 13. He was
really
trouble.
good.
No foul trouble for the most part.
No foul trouble. He was hitting shots. He was driving. He was staying out of the BS. I don't know. I was really impressed with Cat. He hit some big time shots. He dunked on Jaren Jackson, which was awesome. He was really good in all assets of the game. I'm really proud of the effort from him. I mean, he was really good. Talk about a kind of a statement game from him after, the playing game. And he was fantastic, and let's just hope it continues.
It felt like he was starting. This was the first time in a while it felt like he was getting calls that benefited him.
Yes.
Like even a couple of those drives that they counted blocks instead of charges because he does duck his head in sort of. Those were huge.
Yep.
He knocked down 2 big threes.
Yep.
Next up, I want to talk about Malik Beasley. He can be such a weapon for this team.
Such an asset.
Yes. Yeah. And tonight he was doing more than just making threes. I noticed his defense. He was playing solid defense.
Yes.
He had some big rebounds and obviously knocked down a bunch of threes. What were your thoughts from Bees?
Very, very good. He hit a really tough shot, really big shot in the third quarter that I thought could have been an and one. He got us there, took the contact, and banked it in. And he was really, really good. In the fourth quarter, there was a minute there where he wasn't hitting the threes, but he was still, he was playing great defense. He was guarding Dylan Brooks for a while too, and he held him in check. A really impressive game from him.
D'Angelo Russell, obviously not a very good night. He wasn't taking good shots.
Bad shot selection.
That was pretty much the main thing. But then again, that three he hit
huge.
That was massive because I don't remember the exact part of the game, but the Grizzlies were making a run. Maybe they cut it to I think they might have tied it, and then he goes down and knocks down a huge three. He had 9 assists. So
that was
more than just
that. Was the dagger, in my opinion.
Well, that was a little early for the dagger.
But that was okay, we're winning this.
The dagger, Lewis Crosby in the chat says Grizzlies in 4. I don't like that. The dagger was Jaden McDaniels' big 3 in the corner. That was the dagger. Jaden McDaniels, another player I want to talk about, unbelievable in the fourth quarter. His defense was phenomenal. Knocked down big threes, was a team high plus 19. He had 15 points, 7 rebounds. He doesn't do that a lot. Man, did he step up. Naz Reid, awful.
Bad game. I texted you about this. This was in the second quarter. They took Cat off for way too long. I get he has to rest. But I was saying to the people I was watching the game with, what do you have to save it for? Why is he still out? This is the playoffs. This is a very crucial point in the game. Why are you still on the bench?
He played 42 minutes. You can't.
That's fine.
No, I know. I'm just saying you can't expect him to play more than 40 minutes.
No, but I'm saying that he was out for too long there, and especially when Naz, it was 3 bad plays in a row, and after the second bad play, I said, "Get him off, and he didn't, and then it made another bad play, and then they tied the game.
Yeah, he had.
But it's not a bad thing because I 100% expect him to bounce back.
Yeah, I mean, Naz has been fairly consistent all year. He's a great finisher. He had 0 points, 3 turnovers, 3 fouls. Not ideal. Another player, J-Mac, I didn't think he had his best game. Torian Prince.
No. Let me say about wait, are you talking about McDaniels or McLaughlin?
No, McLaughlin.
Well, I mean, he was fine. I mean, he didn't play much.
I know. He's
not out there to score. He's kind of out there to just defend, especially when Pat Bev and D'Lo are in foul trouble. And let me say this about Pat Bev. Phenomenal.
Yeah. He hit a couple of massive threes. One in the first quarter. It just felt like the Wolves had to get off to a good start. He knocked down a big 3 in the first. And then that 3 where Jaren Jackson flew by and he knocked that one down in the fourth. That was massive.
He had a couple of nice assists too.
Yeah. Pat Bev brings it every single game. He's
a playoff player. He's a playoff player.
You know what to expect from him on a nightly basis, whether it's defense or, he can facilitate the offense, and he's not bad at it at all. Vanderbilt didn't do much. He had 6 rebounds, but he only played 18 minutes.
Who's that?
Jared Vanderbilt.
Oh, not a great game.
Do a lot. He just didn't do a lot. He played 18 minutes.
And I bet is over. I bet is over in points.
Let's look at the Grizzlies side. Dylan Brooks continues to be a Wolves killer. He had 24 points, 3 for 4 from 3. He plays good defense, but I mean, he couldn't stop Anthony Edwards. No player in the NBA would have been able to stop Ant tonight. Desmond Bane knocked down 3 threes. Meh. John Morant, 32 points, almost 90% of it from the free throw line, probably. Brandon Clark, another Wolves killer. That guy eats glass for breakfast. He lives on the boards. Wolves not great at rebounding. They were fine on the board. Oh, wait, let me see the rebounding differential. Wolves up by 11 in the rebounding differential. That is why they won the game.
That's a shock, by the way, too. That's a shock.
Massive shock. I mean, the Grizzlies are maybe the best rebounding team in the NBA. The Wolves might be the worst, almost the worst, and they beat them by 11. That is why the Wolves won this game. It's flat, plain and simple. I'm gonna go back show this real quick. This was my notes ahead of the game. I want to see what happens. Limit dribble penetration from Ja. Didn't do great at that, but no team really does great at that. I mean, they didn't give him easy looks at the basket, but they fouled him a lot, I guess. But that was,
and honestly, I'm fine with the fouling.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want the crowd to get on their feet. That's what I had from number 3. Neutralize the home court. They did that. There is no doubt. The FedEx Forum really was never hopping, in my opinion, for a long, extended stretch. Every time, like I said, every time the Grizz did that, the Wolves answered, and mainly it was Anthony Edwards. Ant and D'Lo continued to do what they did on Tuesday. Ant really did. D'Lo didn't, but
he did not. But listen, that comes with the territory. I mean, we knew that he wouldn't be taking as many shots now that Cat was on his game and out of foul trouble. But I will say with Ant, there's just something about the bright lights, and there's just something about him playing in big games. It's special to see.
This game from D'Lo, it didn't feel like a game where you were like, oh my God, stop shooting. It didn't feel like that. It was like space throughout the game where he'd take like a step back mid-range too. I'm like,
yeah, they were fine. They were fine. And and when he hit that huge shot, I wanted him to shoot it. And I go, you know what? He's due.
Yeah. Yeah. I kept saying that too. At some point, D'Lo is going to knock down a big shot, and indeed he did. Grizzlies only made 7 threes, 25%. I mentioned before the game, the Grizzlies are not a great three-point shooting team. A massive reason why I thought the Wolves could compete in this series, because the Wolves struggle against teams that shoot three really well. And the Grizzlies don't do that. They're like 28th in the league in attempts, middle of the pack in percentage, but it's the teams like the Warriors, the Jazz even, the Suns, these teams that are elite from three, move the ball really well. The Grizzlies just don't do that. They don't even move the ball that good, in my opinion. It's basically Ja at the top of the key. Somebody comes set a screen, whether it's Steven Adams or Jaren Jackson, and he just runs into the paint, jumps as high as he can, flails his arms, and waits for David Guthrie to blow the damn whistle.
Yeah. Let me just say something to Lewis Crosby right now in the chat. He says, Grizzlies will be back. Can't wait to watch Ja. Grizzlies in 4. Cat will regress in game 2. What are your thoughts on Lewis's comments?
Well, I'll say this, and it doesn't really have to do with, I guess it does. Taylor Jenkins, I've lost respect for him after this game. What is he doing putting Steven Adams on Cat? It makes no sense. I know. That's why I'm saying, why is he doing that? It's so dumb. You've watched, there's 40 games of tape on what works against Karl Anthony Towns. And putting a big one-on-one against him is not it. It's not. No. Steven Adams can't hang with Cat. Jaren Jackson, obviously, I think a little part of that is they don't want him in foul trouble, even though he was in foul trouble.
I mean, that's not going to be happening every game now. So,
well, Jaren Jackson is almost to Cat's level in terms of getting in foul trouble every game. He's one of the league's volume foulers, I guess, if you want to put it that way. Anything else that sticks out to you going into game 2?
Well, I think that it was a big confidence builder for the Wolves.
I told myself you have to win one of the 2 games to win the series, one of the first 2.
And I'll take it a step further.
What's that?
I still think that they kind of need to win either this next game or both at home to have a chance because we don't want a game 7 in that building.
Yeah, I agree. The worldwide Wob. Do you know who that is? Wob Perez on Twitter.
Yes.
I was listening to Radio Roulette last night. Shout out to him. He has a great show late at night on YouTube. He was saying that game 7s at home are not a good thing. Statistically, the home team wins more, but the highs and the lows of the fans in a game 7 can mess with players.
Yeah,
players have.
I think that's reading too far into it.
All right,
you want to have a game 7 at home.
You want to, but I just don't think the Grizzlies. They definitely don't want to get there. They don't.
What if the play-in game was at LA?
Yeah, the Wolves probably don't win.
Yeah, that's.
I'm just reiterating what he said, and he's an elite NBA mind, and so that's my thoughts on that. You were saying something. I forget what you were about to say. I want to bring up Steven Adams again. He had 0 points, only 3 rebounds, 4 fouls. He was awful. He didn't do anything. He played 24 minutes. We
have another comment from Ben Tucker.
Oh, okay. Yep. He says, Josh should have had at least 10 more trips to the line. Refs bailed out the puppies. Well, let's see. How many free throws did Ja Morant have? 20 free throw attempts. Are you kidding me? That's Joel Embiid. That is ridiculous. And Cat only had 3 fouls, one of them being in the last minute where it didn't even matter. That's impressive stuff. Although Ant had 5, Beverly had 5, Beasley had 5, McDaniels had 5. The refs. I mean, as long as we don't have Ed Malloy or Scott Foster or David Guthrie now,
whoever the refs were today, they were really good.
Well, because they didn't call anything on Cat.
Well, granted, he didn't do anything stupid, but I just feel like there are a lot better calls in today's game.
I agree. I mean, I felt some of them. I'm like,
it just felt more fair.
The second the whistle blows, I'm like, oh my God, that's an offensive foul on Cat for sure. And then I see the ref give the little block sign, and I'm like, let's go. That doesn't happen.
Big relief.
Huge relief. All right. I don't think I have anything else off the top of my head. I'm sure as the night goes on, I'll think of more stuff. But as of now, I'm sort of living in the moment. I am sweating because those games get my heart pumping. I might have a heart attack if the Wolves get into the second round against whoever they play. No, I'm not going to say it. I don't want to jinx it.
Let's not even go that. Let's not even worry about that. One game at a time.
I know. But this was huge. This was massive.
Huge. Awesome.
Benjamin Tucker says David Guthrie didn't have the guts to call it. I agree. He didn't have the guts to call it, and Ed Malloy wasn't there to back him up. And so, actually, he did.
One thing I'll point out, did you see the owners sitting right next to the bench?
Becky. Oh, another thing. The lady that chained herself to the basket. Did you see this?
Yes.
What?
Good luck, Charm.
You know what her shirt said?
Yeah.
Same thing as on Tuesday. Glenn Taylor roasts animals alive.
Protesters. Yeah.
What do these people have against Glenn?
Oh man, I don't know. I don't think anyone could ever have anything against him.
Glenn Taylor.
Whatever. He was a good luck charm tonight, though. All 3 owners were there.
4. Oh yeah, 3. I was counting Becky.
Oh yeah, sorry, Becky.
Becky Taylor brings a lot, and Glenn Taylor's legs are still crossed, if you are wondering.
With the sheet as well.
He's got the sheet of stats. I think it's probably the names of the Wolves players because he forgets, even though he's been to games for 25 years now.
Great win for him.
All right. Anything else you wanna bring up? I don't think I got anything else.
Yeah, I don't think so. I'm sure some will come up, but wow, just what an awesome game. Oh, did you watch on Bally or did you watch ESPN?
Half and half.
I tried to do half and half, but I stuck with Bally the whole time.
Was Dave having a heart attack at the end? The end, I was listening to ESPN. Although I will say, like I said earlier, I wasn't that nervous at the end. It felt like
I wasn't nervous like when there was like
point lead for like
1 minute left. The whole game, I was just waiting. Like, okay, are they going to come back now? Is this when they're going to go on their surge?
Well,
you're like waiting.
that's just Wolves fandom right there. Or numb to comebacks from opposing teams. But it just felt like every time they scored a bucket, Anthony Edwards comes down and knocks down a huge shot. So if they can continue that, if they could pick up another win in game 2, come back. What if we sweep them?
I would not go that far.
All right. Well, it's fun to think about. We'll be back. Let's see. Probably on Monday. We'll maybe talk about more things that goes on.
Yeah, something will come up.
So we appreciate everybody listening to today's recap and pregame show. If you caught that one, couple more games today. I'm rooting for the Nuggets for reasons that I don't want to jinx. Everybody have a fantastic day. And peace out.